and welcome to The Bond. Let me ask you a question. What does it take to meet a goal? Well, first, before we meet our very inspirational guest today, let me take you back to about 1806, where we meet a young Kentuckian named Henry Clay. And at 29 years old, he stood up in front of Congress for the very first time. Now, he was too young to actually be eligible. Did you know that to serve in the U.S. Congress, the House of Representatives, you had to be 25 and in the Senate at least 30? So even though he was too young, by most, he had the diligence and the passion and the focus in order to convey an idea that was paramount to our United States history. Henry became so respected in American politics because he focused on principle, on determination, and negotiation. And that was his skill that he wanted to hone. In 1820, he allowed Missouri to enter the Union as a slave state, whereas Maine was a free state, and that was known as the Compromise of 1850. Before that, he admitted California as a free state, and he even abolished the slave trade in Washington, D.C. Not slavery, just the trade. But he was paramount in also creating a new version of a new political party around this time, where he managed tariffs, such as the way money was being handled, how Congress would approve funds to states that had natural disasters and needed rebuilt infrastructure. And this was sort of a revolutionary idea. But the reason why he wanted that in Congress was to do a checks and balances on Andrew Jackson, who was president at the time. So with that focus, with that determination, and with the fact that some thought that he was too young to even start any of those negotiations, let's fast forward to today and meet someone else who is just starting on their journey in order to make a change, to represent the United States in a different way, in a way of eventing with an equestrian sport, and also not politics, but still embodying that Kentucky spirit. I'd like you to meet Hanley, a 16-year-old who is determined to one day be that representative for all of the United States, to bring everyone together in that union. Now, for those who don't know, eventing is sort of the triathlon of horseback riding. You have dressage, you have cross country, even jumping. All of them focus on different types of disciplines, and you're judged very, very stringently. So for her to start that journey now means she's going to have to focus and do some balancing in her life. And it also means she's going to need a support structure. And that's where her delightful mother, Tori, is going to help give us some insight into how she actually was able to leverage her background in order to support her daughter to represent all of us as the United States in hopefully the next Olympic Games. So with that, I'd like to welcome you to Hanley and Tori. And can you hear me?
We can.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I would really like to know, first off, what started that spark of joy with equestrian sports for you?
Oh, so much did. So I was born into a very horsey family. Most people say it's been in my blood. My mom fox hunted and evented and did hunter jumpers herself. My grandmother fox hunted. My father's a farrier and his father's a farrier. So I've been in the horse world for a very, very long time, since we were born. We would have horses whether I was into it or not.
So you're a generational family.
Yes, ma'am. Very generational.
So
my mom just wanted neither of us to be allergic. Me or my brother not to be allergic.
Oh, you actually have someone in your family who's allergic to horses?
No, I just wanted, whether they rode or not, that was okay if they didn't want to. But
I see. Well, that's very, very good, because you're actually giving them that positive reinforcement. And that's so important to be able to say, find your own way. Point them in that direction, show them that you have 2 generations worth of horsiness, but that's fantastic. So
I was never forced to ride. I was always, you can go play in the dirt with your pony or you can ride that day. It was never you had to, it was always my choice.
So what was it about it that really appealed to you, that made you want to play with horses instead of in the sandbox?
I fell in love with it from a very young age. My mom was like, hey, let's go fox hunting. And we had this pony, and I went fox hunting on this pony, and it was the most thrilling thing. I was actually 2 years old, and
Wow.
it was the most thrilling thing ever. And we go all over the countryside. We were just trotting, which is pretty slow, but I thought it was the fastest thing in the world. And I thought it was so cool. And my mom actually thought we were going to go in after 10 minutes. She had walked me on foot, and we stayed out for the entire 2 hours because I said I have to watch the hounds do their work.
That is fantastic, and I'll bet you'll go down in history as the youngest fox hunter at
She's pretty little.
I absolutely loved it. And I really from that moment on, I was like, I love horses. I want to run fast on horses. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Fantastic. So then what made you decide on the Olympics? Because that's a pretty high bar. That's not state champions. That's literally going for the gold. So
yeah, I have always been the type of person where if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it all the way.
Okay.
So I actually jumped around within horse sports for a little bit. I did hunter jumpers. I did combined driving, which is actually where you have a cart behind the horse. And because I broke my ankle, so I couldn't ride. So I decided to start driving.
So it was an alternative horse sport to accommodate your injury.
It was something I could do when I couldn't walk. And I actually dipped my toes a little bit in colt breaking with a girl that we absolutely love. Her name is Mary Rose. And she kind of threw me into that world and did a little bit of ranch horse. So I jumped around within it, but I knew from the beginning I was always going to do something with horses because my love and passion is for the horse. So I narrowed it down to eventing.
Yeah.
Because dressage, the first phase, really lets you connect with your horse and gives you the why your horse moves his haunches the way he does, why he does this, why he does that. And I love to know the why. And then I love the cross country because I was like, I get to run fast and jump big jumps. This is amazing. It's the adrenaline rush and the speed for me. So that's what really narrowed it down to eventing was that I get to know the why, I get to have that deep connection with my horse, and I get to run fast and jump big jumps.
I think that's fantastic. But going for the Olympics is really dealing with a lot of challenges. So do you have any tools that would help you handle going through those obstacles or those points of discouragement, right? Because practice is just part of the equation.
100%. So some of my tools is I actually work with a mindset coach and a life coach weekly, and she helps me balance school and just normal teenage things and eventing on top of all of it. So she kind of helps bring it all together, and I love working with her. And then I also, of course, have my amazing support system, my friends, my family. I have a really good group of friends within the eventing world, and I love leaning on them because they go through a lot of the same struggles. Everyone in eventing has been humbled so many times because it's not just you have the horse too. And the horse doesn't wake up every day and say, I want to go eventing. Now, I agree. They love their job. You cannot get a horse to jump a 4-foot wall if it does not want to. You can never get a 1,000-pound animal to do that if it does not want to.
Exactly.
So the horses absolutely love their job, but it adds a whole other element to it. So everyone gets humbled in eventing, and no one can walk out. No one has a perfect day every day. So really leaning in my support system helps me.
No, I think that's fantastic. And going to Tori, you are part of that support system. You not only are giving her that support, but you're also pushing her out of the nest. Yes. So that's good. That must be a difficult thing for you to manage as well, that you want your little baby bird to fly and to soar, but it's your baby bird.
Yes, it is.
Right?
We've been fortunate. So she started with me when she was little, but it's hard to teach your own. And we were fortunate, the group that she has around her now. So her trainer, Rosie, that she rides with is amazing and is, I would say, a second mom.
That's
they
fantastic.
Communicate a lot. The communication is fantastic, and how she communicates with her, demanding but positive, reinforcing the good days while making the corrections. And then her life coach. It's hard to sometimes want to talk to your mom about things and that, and keep that mindset of a bad day. The one thing that's hard about eventing is with the 3 phases, if you mess up one, you can come back from in cross country and that, but there's only one ribbon versus like in the jumpers, you go back the next day and you do another round and you can correct what happened and do that. You have a bad day over your 3-day weekend and something goes wrong in show jumping, your weekend's over. Yeah. So to be able to cope with the constantly moving forward and learning from each thing, the life coach has been fantastic.
Well, that's really good. Can you share with me maybe what you think your daily schedule is going to be like when you venture off onto your camp? Because we want to tell our audience that they have actually made the decision, and I'm going to let Mom or you, Tori, to share with it, that you will continue your training, but not at home. So do you want to tell a little bit about that?
We went to Aiken this winter, just on a week trip. So she's enrolled regular school here in Kentucky as a sophomore in high school. And we were on a trip, met some other students who are all doing online school so they can travel more and such. And she said to me when we on our way home, like, this is what I want to do. And I want to go for it. And I said, absolutely. She's worked hard in school to give herself options with her grades, the classes she took, taking something over the summer. And so she's put herself in a really good spot. So the goal is to go online school and hopefully maybe finish a year early with high school. And when she said that, I was fortunate years ago to work for U.S. Equestrian Federation, and Captain Mark Phillips was the coach at the time. So I reached out to him and asked him, I said, this is what she's doing. This is her age. Where would you send her? And he gave me the name of a coach, and I reached out to her, and he reached out to her also. And we were fortunate. She had a spot open, and they were able to meet and ride together. So I wasn't thinking she was going to leave quite so early, but the timing is what it is, and it's a good thing. So I'm excited to watch her go and embrace this opportunity. And I think once again, she's so fortunate. We have a fantastic support system here in Kentucky that she's stepping into one going forward to bring her up to the next level.
And I think that is fantastic. And so to our audience, stay with us. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to find out more about those interesting details about training for the Olympics. Stay with us. And welcome back. We are very excited to continue our conversation with Tori and Hanley, who is about to train for the Olympics. So I would like to ask you, Tori, could you share a little bit about your experience with setting up the events that are needed for this? And then Hanley, would you be kind enough to tell me about how you're going to be training for this, like what your daily schedule would be like?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, it was years ago, before kids and that I worked for the U.S. Equestrian Federation as the director of eventing, and it was an amazing experience. I got to take, I did the logistics part of it and got to take a team over to Aachen, Germany for the world championships, and it was fascinating to learn about. One of the neat parts I got to experience, and probably one of the coolest things that part of the job, was to go to the USOC headquarters in Colorado for a conference. Mm-hmm. And it was all the different team sports, summer games, winter games, together to discuss the selection procedures. Mm-hmm. And that was huge. Finding out how the different teams and the different sports choose their teams. And I think at that time, swimming was the only one who chose still completely objectively. Whoever hit the wall first and second goes. All the other sports had written in ways to allow for mistakes in that, a little bit of subjective mixed with objective. Mm-hmm. So as she goes forward, the selection procedures very clearly spell out what you need to accomplish for each games, be it the World Championships, the Olympics. They also have a program called the North American Young Riders Championship, which gives young riders a taste of that team aspect. In horses, it's kind of tough because it's very much an individual sport. Mm-hmm. It's you and your horse. And so to step into a team environment is very different for riders a lot of times, and definitely where the life coaches, the sports psychologists come in of how to now cope with being on a team. And your teammates can affect you and work together. So it's fascinating.
So how are you going to reverse engineer that and turn that into a daily schedule? Like tell me what you're planning on. You wake up at what time? You're going to start off running. Like, I mean, what happens?
Yeah, so horses like to be fed at the same time every morning. And they don't care what time you wake up. They don't care if it's Easter or if it's Christmas. Okay. But we will wake up at about 7, and we feed the horses about 7:15, so we get ready pretty fast. Okay. And we feed the horses about 7:15, and then we do morning chores, which include mucking out stalls, doing all the things that everyone has to do no matter what level you're at. Mucking out stalls, refilling water buckets, hay, turning horses out, bringing them in, whatever those horses' needs are. And then we will go into a lesson. So I will be getting a lesson from Mogi, Bird, and Muller. And we will work on either flat work or dressage or whatever discipline we're really focusing on that day. And that will be for about an hour. And then I'll get off my horse. I will take care of him, make sure all his sweat is off, make sure he gets the care he needs because he's also an athlete. Mm-hmm. And then I will put him away. He will either go outside or stay inside for the day. And then I will do my schoolwork between 10 and 2 because I'm still a full-time student.
Okay. So you're going to do that online, right? The schoolwork is going to be done online. You're going to study through. Yes. Okay.
Yes. So I will be studying. I will be doing my online work. I will be meeting on Zoom with my teachers and really keeping up with my school. And then because I'm also trying to graduate a year early. So I have to do a few year classes.
GED.
So it'll be worth it in the end. But really balancing that with the riding will be a bit of a challenge for the first year.
So that's just up to what time is it now? 4 p.m.? Is
2.
that 2 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're done with lunch, and now it's the evening part. So how are you going to be rolling out the rest of your day?
So after that, I will go back outside and I will watch other students' lessons from about 2 to 3 because you can learn so much by watching.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of sit on the sidelines and watch what she's teaching them and see how I can apply that to my riding. And then I will do evening chores. So all the things we did in the morning, we do again.
Okay.
And we'll clean stalls, do water, do hay, all those things.
You'll have a hoof pick at your belt. Got it? Okay.
Yeah. And then I will go do a personal workout for whatever strength of area I'm needing in my body for my horse. And then I will come home and eat dinner and sleep really well.
Go to bed. Wow, that is amazing. Hey, do you mind if I ask? You have some really beautiful artwork behind you, and it has a plus and a minus or an equal sign up there. So before I assume that's the Swiss flag, could you tell me what that symbol means?
Sure. And so it's actually, we're missing one set in there, but pardon me while I turn around. It was the...
is it an event?
1992 Olympic team fundraiser. There was a company called Miller's at the time, which has gone out of business. But those posters, so the one horse, one rider, one team, and it was to represent the 3 Olympic disciplines. The dressage and the cross country are behind us, and show jumping.
I see. Okay, so the one horse, one rider, is that what's evidenced by 1 + 1 = 1?
Yes.
So, okay, because that's not real math. That's a marketing slogan. Just wanted, since you're going to school, I just wanted to give you that insight. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So going back to Tori, what do you think would be the elements of a well-run organization? Like what should be, like Hanley was fantastic with telling us a very detailed and quite frankly exhausting schedule. And I understand that you're going to need probably 600 to 1,000 hours just of training. Any athlete who goes to the Olympics does that within a year.
Yes.
But what are the hallmarks of the organization that supports the athlete to do that?
So in the horse world, we're fortunate. We have some great grassroots organizations, and that's the key, I think, for most sports is starting at the grassroots level of welcoming people into the sport. And of course, that creates your fan base, which is so important, and then builds on the dreams of moving up the levels until reaching the top, whether it be the Olympics or there's actually 7 disciplines. Actually, they switched to 6, sorry, for the International Federation for Horse Sports. And then as you go up and you get to the U.S. Equestrian Federation level, a lot of their focus is on supporting your upper level athletes. And then, of course, protection of the horse and protection of the riders. They've implemented some new rules recently, both at the international and the national level, to protect horses. So if things aren't going how they're supposed to and people aren't doing what they're supposed to, that the U.S. Equestrian Federation can hold them accountable, which is important. It's our responsibility for these animals. As Hanley said, they don't wake up every day going, I want to go jump these jumps or I want to go do this. The ones that make it to the top love it. They understand the questions. That's a key to an upper level horse is they start to understand the questions. So they are very much a participant and a team member for horse and rider, but the Federation's job is to protect that team member.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So does that mean that the Federation would also encourage somebody like Hanley, and I know I don't mean to be talking about you behind your back when you're right there, but to go into other smaller competitions? Like, would you ever do pardon my accent, but Concours Complet International, the CCI, the French International? I'm terrible at French. So so I'm assuming your horse doesn't have to speak French for you to compete in that. But but would you be like doing that as a try run before, as you warm up for the Olympics, or would you stick with state level or?
100%. So the CCIs, I really like them, and that's actually one of our goals is by the end of high school to make it to a CCI 2-star.
Oh, okay.
And so yes, and they are a bit more intense than your regular horse trials. So they give you that taste of what the upper levels would look like on a smaller scale. Okay,
and so just for our audience, the CCIs have different levels. The CCI 1 is an introductory international level. It's not official, but the CCI 2 is a step up of difficulty with more technical in cross country and the courses, and they also have some higher jumps. The CCI 3 is more mid-level, and that's more international. And the CCI 4 is considered advanced. With a lot of events that fall into that category. But the CCI 5 is the absolute highest level of eventing, and it includes things like badminton. Is that right? And the Kentucky 3-day event? How do you play badminton with a horse? Just
it's a beautiful place. I got the opportunity to go, and it's actually where badminton started, the sport badminton. Okay. But it's a beautiful facility.
Fantastic, and you'll have to pardon my knowledge. That's why you're here, is to educate me, educate our audience on everything. So going back, how does it feel to watch Hanley take that next step? She's really
exciting. It's nerve-wracking. I must say, Mom, it was much easier when she was jumping just the little stuff. And so it is nerve-wracking, and I am grateful for amazing coaches, because I'll be honest, I don't watch as much as I used to.
Because it's a little scary now.
I'll watch her maybe warm up, and then I'll go disappear and wait for her at the finish line.
I can understand. So given that, realizing it's not guaranteed that you're going to make Olympic gold. We all want you to on your very first trials for getting onto the Olympics team, but just in case you don't, is there some sort of a subject in school that you think you might also want to pursue, or even something that might augment or complement you if you did win gold, like business major or something like that?
Yeah, so UK actually has a really good equine business program, and I have looked into that a little bit, of supplementing that and doing it online while training, just in case. And it's always good to have a business background in the horse world and understand the money management, because that's really lacking. And a lot of people are like, I just want to ride the ponies. Well, you have to do all the business work to ride the ponies. So I would really like to have that also to supplement my riding.
Well, that's nice. That's good. That actually is building up on things and keeping you in the horsey family, maybe for, who knows, maybe even another generation.
Yeah.
So as a parting gift, moms always give their daughters a bit of wisdom. And so I would be curious to know what Tori would be giving you, Hanley, as far as a bit of wisdom. Like, is she going to be talking to you about what characteristics to have in your friends, what to look out for, or what sort of pearls of wisdom is she going to send you off with? Oh, you want to keep that secret, or?
No, you go ahead.
Is it me? No, mine would be to, is it my wisdom to?
Yeah, it'd be, what wisdom do you think your mom is sending you off with?
Oh, okay. Definitely always work hard and never take anything for granted.
Okay.
Just keep going, and really to take the small wins. Don't focus on the big wins. The small wins are what you have to strive for. You have to love every day. You can't just love the competitions.
And then I'm going to ask you, Tori, is that what you intended to send her off with, or were you hoping that she was going to say something like,
no,
never drink, never smoke?
No, I know her well, and I wouldn't be sending her if I was worried about that with her. But she's incredibly responsible. But no, that is true. The small wins, the little things. It's hard day to day. The competition weekends start at 5 a.m. and can go till 10 or 11 p.m. They're long days, they're tough days. You've got the weather, horses in a good mood and great day and not a good day. So she's right. The little wins are important, and also surrounding yourself with great people who are your biggest cheerleaders.
Right.
You got to have those in your corner. And so, yeah.
But I like that. I like that bit of wisdom that horses are people too, and they have bad days.
They do.
So I think that's really fantastic. Do you think that do you think that you're equipped to handle some of the biggest challenges that you may not even realize are there yet?
I have no clue, but I'm excited to find out, and I'm excited to give it my best shot.
Excellent attitude. That was a really good attitude, because nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what tomorrow brings. So I really appreciate that. So thank you both very much for coming in and for talking to us about this and sharing your bits of wisdom. I really would be curious to see how you progress. And with your permission, we would love to check in with you a little bit later on to sort of see how things are progressing. Would that be okay?
I would love that.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let me talk to our audience then. As you can tell, Hanley and her mom, Tori, are stepping off into a new adventure. They're dealing with dedication, skill, and trying to become better than they were yesterday. We learned that you do need a support structure. Hanley has her mom, have friends in the equestrian world, and she might even meet a friend in another world. We want to deal with trust, technique, and also tenacity. Remember, it's dressage, cross country, and show jumping, but there's also a bit of tenacity and perseverance there as well. She's also balancing not only her goal, but her educational goal, and she has a backup plan, a business backup plan. So with her mom's Olympic insights, into how something could work and be supportive. Hanley now is equipped with some skills and also those insights, second generational insights into what to look out for and to be on alert if something is amiss and how to handle that. So we want you to join us in cheering Hanley on and also hoping that she not only wins the smaller championships, but also can make it to the Olympic team. And we want you to join us as we hopefully follow her all the way to getting a gold medal. So with those around you, what can you do to help another person be connected, to be courageous, or to be a champion in their own right? And what are you going to do in order to sort of focus on being persistent and the preparation, and also what goal are you going to pursue for yourself? Maybe not an Olympic gold, maybe something a little smaller, but take the inspiration from Hanley and the fact that she's stepping out into something with a bright attitude. And until we bond again, thank you for joining us.